What's up? What's up? What's happening, man? What's happening, man, you guys? Anyways, man, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. But anyways, what I was wanting to do a quick video. Now, gym is 24/7. Man, gotta mask up. But anyways, 24/7. I get part of this gym. I got a package. But anyways, uh, I was like watching. I was watching Boyce Watkins. Um, you know, I watch his show a little bit. Sometimes he has that. But when I was what I was noticing, and then the other day I just saw like Diddy is starting a third party, and I made a lot of videos in the past about a third party. It was the only logical step for to reach whatever we're trying to reach. But this perpetual state of confusion and chaos is uh, is par for the course. And I had to take a step back and um, kind of like evaluate shit for what it is. And when I started evaluating shit for what it is, I saw what it was. It's um, uh, a perpetual state of chaos. You know, um, and I think both parties are using Cube, and Cube is falling right into it. And I'm not saying that his intentions are bad, but when you look at it, it's creating a divide, and Democrats want that. Kind of Democrats want that because I think it favors them. Because at the end of the day, they're definitely going to get their what they rightfully own. And I think because this type of confusion has hit, I think, man, I'm good, man. What's up, King Dorian, man? Shout out to you, man. But anyways, shout out to you, bro. No, I think, and what one, the person that made me realize this was I was listening to O'Shea. O'Shea had the celebrity junk thing that he does, which is a good pretty segment. He's pretty funny on that. And the thing about it is um, this gender war between black men and black women. Um, I think it's a very important um, mechanism within the Democratic Party, and and even though Trump is making a strong push for the black vote, one part of the segment of the black vote that they're not going to get, that he's not going to get, that actually became even more defiant because of Ice Cube is black women. And if you look at their voting numbers, I mean, the Democrats can pretty much solidify that. They can pretty much solidify the black. I mean, not probably the black vote because the majority of the black vote right now is coming from the black women, and and because you have like a lightning rod figure like Ice Cube, and you're almost solidifying. They're almost solidifying the black women's part. Now they might pick up Trump. They might pick off a lot of because the thing about it is a lot of I mean like you have a lot of wannabe uh, Trump supporters. A lot of wannabe Trump supporters, and a lot of them you see it in the media right now. Like you act like fucking Trump people are really going to accept you. I know it sounds really good. You want to be different. I just saw like a whole like a panel of them. All these conservative, like these wannabe conservative black guys. They want to be. It's like a fashionable thing fucking to do. The fucking Kanye shit. Like those crackers are not gonna fucking ever They're never going to. They're never going to accept you. They're never going to accept you. Let's put that again. They're never going to accept you. Stop fucking thinking that you can be one of them motherfuckers. Like, like you say, oh yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Hey, black people in general, no matter if you're Caribbean, African, or whatever, a lot of our traditional views already are conservative. We already have a conservative outlook a lot of times, when it comes to abortion, gay rights, all those type of things. That's naturally African. But these guys think that they can, oh yeah, they can get on the Trump bandwagon and shit like that, and they're gonna be accepted or some shit. We can like guns, we can like conservative ideas and shit like that, but those motherfuckers are never gonna accept you. Let me say that again. They're never gonna accept you. So you can do all the shucking and jiving and shit. A lot of you motherfuckers have an affinity for white women, and that's why the fuck you want to be in there. That's why you want to be accepted by those motherfuckers. Let's keep it really honest. But let's go back to the subject in hand. This chaos this chaos doesn't need to have, does not even need to be. But parties love this chaos. You know, they say in the 48 Laws of Power, the easiest way to catch fish, you have to stir the water. So, and the Republican and Democratic Party, the two-party system, they're the same motherfuckers. Excuse my French, but they're the same motherfuckers. They are the same. They're the same fuckers. Don't get it fucking twisted. They're the same motherfuckers, and they want to pick off their shit. But to tell you the truth, like Ice Cube, and I think Ice Cube, I don't understand. I don't think he really understands what he is representative. And the thing about it is, the Trump Platinum Plan. Trump basically gave like one of them, those ADOS people, I guess, the full anonymity to write that plan, because if you look at go look up at the Trump Black Platinum Plan, it's ADOS talking points, FBA or ADOS or American Descendants, like it's basically their talking points. If you think I'm lying, go and look at it. They're it's their talking points. So basically, they didn't probably give a shit about that. They just hired somebody or whatever, to write that shit. And I don't know if they're selling that, because I didn't really get to look at Ice Cube's contract with for America. But if it's that, I mean, that's basically what it is. Um, you know, you're gonna get that fraction of people. But the thing about it is, when they say like the loudest voices, I mean, like this. Hold on, the loudest voice is usually the weakest in the room. Um, the whole reparations and ADOS movement, they want you, they really want you to think that they have a lot of power. They have a lot of power, and this voting block that they represent is such a big voting block. This Native American push, this not this Native, but this whatever their segment, like those like Tariq Nasheed and like Boyce Watkins and Yvette Carnell, all these guys, they want you to think that those motherfuckers are the end all and be all. Like they are so fucking strong. Like they want, because they're YouTube celebrities and all this type of shit. They want to sell the narrative that they have all this motherfucking power and they have all this sway in numbers and all this type of shit. And the fact of the matter, this is what the reality is. They don't really have shit power compared to what they think that they have. Because they're really loud. They make a lot of noise on social media and shit like that. But at the end of the day, they don't really have that much fucking power. I mean, if you don't, I mean, the numbers speak for them fucking selves. But anyways, um, the thing about it is, for instance, with black women, this is where they come in. And majority of the motherfuckers that are registered to vote, that can vote, are black women. And that's who Democrats bank on. Trump can have what was it? He can have the 8% and 9% of the black vote, but there's going to be mostly black males or whatever. But majority of the Democratic Party is black females, and it's black females. And the thing about it is the you got to look at it from a psychological perspective. Kamala Harris, fake black woman, not really a black woman, but she is proposing it as a black woman, and she's on the ticket. And one thing that black women love more than anything, more than weaves and hood niggas and kookies and ray rays, is some fucking authority and some power. And you have Ice Cube. Ice Cube is a huge threat to that. He wants to vote for Trump. Shit, you're shitting on the opportunity that we're gonna get. We're gonna get somebody in. Like we already helped you get Barack Obama in there, and made y'all niggas feel good. But you guys gonna try to take away our opportunity to put one of us in the big house. You are going to take the opportunity from us to put one of us in the big house right next to Massa. We're Ice Cube, we're not letting you do that. You can't do that, Ice Cube. So the thing about it is now Democrats probably have a chance to really, 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 really mobilize because the threat can be real. That Kamala Harris, the first black woman in the White House, in the big house. You think Ice Cube, you gonna cheat us out of that shit? No, Ice Cube, you can't do that. We're coming out. No, we're coming out guns a blazing right now. And the LGBT and whoever, which is another like again that whole fraction of of people that are like when they say like the loudest in the room are always the weakest, like those loud motherfuckers, which they represent a very minute fraction of the voting public and all that. But if you think about it, they think that they hold so much power in numbers, but they don't really hold that much fucking power at all. And the thing about it is those assholes think, hey, they're gonna be um, accepted in the liberal elite. Yeah, like there's not racism within their intersection or whatever, which their intersection is really fucked up if you know anything about it. I don't know that much about it, but I've heard like they're really fucked up when it comes to that whole thing. If you when racism when it comes to them, I heard it's really 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 bad over there. But anyways, they're if you think black people are fetishized or whatever, go in that fucking community. And no, I'm not gonna go in that community. But anyways, um, that's the thing. That's the thing. And Ice Cube is a perfect, and I don't even know if he knows it, but um, the type of division that he's really sowing, I think, it's subtle, but I think it's very impactful. And I don't really think he knows it, and I don't really think that anybody wanted to acknowledge it because it works. Because uh, what Ice Cube really represents, he represents like he, you know what, he represents a lot, but you don't even notice that. It's like in 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 and the thing about it is like he's been an activist, and like there's certain people that we put like on this pedestal so fucking high,
and it's like the halo effect. You know, very we have a hard time being objective of that person. So it's like the halo effect. They did this one thing, and then all of a sudden, everything they do is great. But the thing about it is like when you start, you cannot criticize or be critical of them, you know, because you're going to be, I mean, and I wouldn't want to do that because we have to maintain some type of code and some type of order. But let's think about this. Let's think about this, you know, these woke motherfuckers, you know, especially these, you know, these wannabe Trump supporters and all this type of shit that always talking about, you know, how, you know, the media makes black people look, and, you know, how black people are, you know, different and whatever. But, you know, and but yeah, it's kind of phony because you're holding Ice Cube all the way on this fucking big ass pedestal, and there's no objective, like you can't really look at him objectively, like it's all positive with Cube and all this type of shit, you know. And these these wannabe black Trump supporters and shit like that want to run behind him, like you guys want to run behind him really fiercely. You know, you want to run behind him really fiercely. You want to support him. You want to stay on code, and then the other fucking side of your mouth, you want to talk about how we being represented. All right, Ice Cube has made hundreds of millions of dollars in movies. Uh, you know, perpetuating the lowest common denominator of the black stereotypes. You heard me? You know, did he make a black superhero movie? Has he made a slave movie or some type of rejoicing movie? Has he? You know, Friday, you know, one through whatever. I mean, that perpetuates a lot of black stereotypes. But hey, you know what? You didn't hear that from me. The barbershop. Mm-hmm. No, no, he didn't turn his back on me. I can't even say that, man, because you know what? He got to do what he got to do. The barbershop. The barbershop. Come on, man. Um, like, you know, I know. I think he's made some, you know, some movies that like uh, niggas with an attitude, West Side Connection, Gang Life, all these these prototypical stereotypes that these guys that are running behind him now um, want to run away from, and that guy right there is I'm not saying he created it, but he's the one that's perpetuated it, and he's put it on seminar, like he's actually did it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that I don't really understand. Um, but you got to call it both ways. You got to call it both ways, um, and you got to sow the vision. You got to call. I mean, you got to call it ace, a spade a spade. I'm not gonna throw rocks and hide hands, which I'm not really throwing any rocks. I'm just keeping it real. And the thing about it is like you have all these guys. You know, I respect a lot of these guys because you know they give you know good information on their platforms and stuff, and you know this and this out. But the thing about it is like you got to pick a side and pick a side. Just pick a side. Just pick a fucking side. Pick a fucking side. Tony hated Q, but now is on his jock. Yeah, but no, you got to pick a side. It's like I be listening to like you know some of these you know so called like these media leaders, you know like Boyce Watkins and Tariq Nasheed and all these type of you know these type of people. On one moment you feel like they're Trump supporters, but yet they will give like a disclaimer. You know, I recognize. I mean, like I respect a lot of people more if you stick on one side, it's like you're trying to play both sides of the fence. Your bread gets buttered by black women, and you know that you can't be all the way in on Trump. But I'm just saying, as black women, I don't even understand how they even fall for it, because it's crazy. You know, do I like a lot of the Trump ideas? Some of the Trump ideas. I mean, I like them a little bit. With that protectionism. America. America first type shit. It resonates a little bit. Being the son of Haitian immigrants, the only thing I don't really like is the anti-immigrant rhetoric. Uh, Tone hated Car, but now it's on his jock. Yeah, yeah, he's on his jock because the Trump administration basically paid somebody, from the ADOS community to come up with ADOS talking points as their platinum plan. I mean, it was very easy, but I think uh, a lot of the public is so um, is not. I don't think they're not. I mean, I'm not going to say ignorant, because that's just such a strong language for somebody that's not informed, or not really wouldn't really be informed unless is exposed to it. That the Trump Platinum Plan is pretty much. I mean, I looked at it line by line. It's pretty much an American descendants of slaves talking points. Basically, that's all it is. It's all it is. Like, all the rhetoric that Yvette Carnell, all the rhetoric that Tone Talks, all the rhetoric that Tariq Nasheed, all those guys, it's exactly their talking points. That's all it is. So I can see why they agree with it. They agree with it because it's basically their talking points. You know, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it, but it's basically their talking points. And but you said Tony hated, yeah, man. But one thing that I wanted to really address real quick before I get off of this thing is you remember, like, you remember for the last about a week ago, about a week ago, about a week ago, that that the rhetoric was about combating white supremacy. You remember that shit? You remember that shit? You remember all these niggas talk about white supremacy this, white supremacy that, the system of white supremacy. Now, how many of these